Welcome back, dear friends and story lovers. Tonight, we bring you a tale where love is tested, secrets come to light, and fate takes an unexpected turn. Every moment will pull you in deeper, and every choice could change everything. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and if this story touches your heart, like, subscribe, share it with someone who believes in true love, and hit the bell so you never miss the next chapter. Asterisk. The crystal chandelier cast fractured, light across Elena Rodriguez's penthouse office, illuminating blueprints of her latest skyscraper design. At 28, she commanded respect in boardrooms filled with men twice her age. Her architectural empire built from the ashes of humiliation. The city sprawled below through floor-to-ceiling windows, each gleaming tower a testament to her rise from nothing. The ivory envelope arrived with her evening mail, its elegant script mocking her with memories she'd buried deep. Westfield High School. Class of 2014. 10-year reunion. Her hands trembled as she read the details, hosted by Victoria Chen at the Meridian Grand Hotel. The same Victoria who had once orchestrated a cruel, online poll ranking the least attractive girls in their senior class. Elena had won by a devastating landslide. She could still taste the bile that had risen in her throat that day. She'd still feel the cold bathroom tiles against her knees as she'd sobbed alone. The janitor's weathered voice echoed across the years. Beautiful things take time to grow, child. You just wait and see. Elena set the invitation aside and walked to her bathroom mirror. The thick glasses were gone, replaced by subtle contacts that enhanced her dark eyes. Professional teeth whitening had erased the memory of braces. Designer clothes hugged curves that rigorous personal training had sculpted. But beneath the transformation lurked something darker than vanity. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Can't wait to see how you've changed, Elena. Some secrets have a way of surfacing at reunions. A friend. The blood drained from her face. After 10 years, someone still knew what she'd done the night before graduation? What she'd done to ensure Victoria Chen's cruelty would never touch another soul? Elena's reflection smiled back at her, cold and calculating.
Ow.
Let them come.
Ow.
Let them all see what their ugliest girl had become. But first, she had a reunion to prepare for, and a secret to protect at any cost. 2 days later, Elena sat in her usual corner booth at Grind Coffee, Grow, reviewing structural calculations when a shadow fell across her laptop screen. She looked up to find Jonathan Blake sliding into the seat across from her, his expensive suit unable to hide the subtle tremor in his hands or the dark circles beneath his striking blue eyes. Elena Rodriguez, he said, his voice carrying the same warm confidence that had made every girl in high school swoon. I believe we went to Westfield together, though. I don't think we ever spoke. Her breath caught. Jonathan Blake had been everything. She wasn't popular, beloved, effortlessly perfect. Star athlete, student body president, golden boy, destined for greatness. Now he was CEO of Blake Industries, his face gracing magazine covers across the country. But something haunted lurked behind his practiced smile. I remember you, Elena said carefully, closing her laptop. You're hard to forget. I've been following your work, Jonathan continued, his fingers drumming nervously against the table. Your buildings are incredible. The Vertex Tower downtown, the Martinez Cultural Center. You've built an empire. Thank you. She studied his face, noting the tension in his jaw. Though I doubt you tracked me down to discuss architecture. Jonathan's composure cracked for just a moment. The reunion. You received your invitation? I did. Are you planning to attend? Something in his tone made her lean forward. Are you? He laughed, but it sounded broken. 10 years ago, I thought I had my whole life mapped out. Star quarterback scholarship to Northwestern, business degree, inherit the family company, marry the perfect girl. His eyes met hers. Funny how life has a way of destroying every plan you make. Elena recognized the pain in his voice, the same hollow ache that had driven her through countless sleepless nights. What happened to the perfect life, Jonathan? Same thing that happened to yours, I'd imagine? He leaned back, studying her with unsettling intensity. We both learned that surviving high school was just the beginning of the real nightmare. Before Elena could respond, her phone buzzed with another anonymous text. Ask your coffee companion about graduation night. Some secrets are worth killing for. Jonathan's eyes tracked to her phone, and his face went white. Elena, he whispered, his voice tight with fear. We need to talk, alone, tonight. Why? He stood abruptly, throwing a 20 on the table. 'Cause someone else knows what we did, and they're not planning to keep quiet much longer. Elena's penthouse felt different with Jonathan Blake pacing across her living room, his polished exterior cracking with each step. Rain hammered against the windows, the city lights blurring into abstract smears of color. She poured 2 glasses of whiskey, her hands steady, despite the chaos churning in her chest. You first, she said, offering him the glass. What happened? Graduation night? Jonathan stopped pacing, his fingers tightening around the crystal tumbler. Victoria Chen didn't just humiliate you with that pole. She did it to break you. To drive you away from someone. From who? Me. His voice cracked. She knew I'd been watching you all year. Knew I'd planned to ask you to prom before she destroyed your confidence with that online torture. She wanted you gone so she could have me to herself. Elena's world tilted. You notice me? How could I not? You were brilliant, passionate about your dreams, when everyone else just drifted through classes. I was terrified to approach you because I knew I didn't deserve someone with your strength. He drained his whiskey in one burning gulp. Victoria made sure that conversation never happened. So what did you do about it? Jonathan met her eyes, and she saw the same darkness that lived in her own soul. I found out she'd been dealing drugs to underclassmen. Adderall, Xanax, whatever kept the pretty popular kids functional. I had photos, recordings, evidence that would have sent her to prison. And I confronted her at the graduation party, told her to leave you alone or I'd destroy her future. His laugh was bitter. She laughed at me, said she'd already won, that you'd never recover from what she'd done to you. Elena set down her glass, understanding flooding through her. You made sure she couldn't hurt anyone else. I planted the evidence in her car. Anonymous tip to the police. She was arrested the next morning, charged with distribution. Jonathan's voice dropped to a whisper. She lost her scholarship. Her family disowned her. Last I heard, she was in rehab for the 3rd time. Elena walked to the window, staring at her reflection in the rain-streaked glass. My secret's worse. Tell me. She turned to face him, her voice steady and cold. I didn't just plant evidence. Jonathan, the night before graduation, I broke into Victoria's house. I knew she kept her college admission letters in her bedroom desk. I destroyed them all. Yale, Harvard, Stanford, every future she'd built while tearing mine down. Elena, I also knew about her eating disorder, the diet pills she hid from her, parents, the purging after every meal. So I replaced her pills with laxatives, strong ones. Elena's smile was sharp as broken glass. She spent graduation day in the hospital, convinced she was dying. Missed the ceremony, missed saying goodbye to all her friends. It's like I'd missed out on so much because of her cruelty. Jonathan stared at her, a mixture of horror and admiration in his eyes. Jesus Christ, we both destroyed her, Jonathan. From different angles, but we both chose revenge over justice. Elena's phone buzzed again, and they both froze. She read the message aloud. Meet me at the Meridian Grand tomorrow night. Room 1247. Come alone, or everyone learns the truth about what you did to Victoria Chen, both of you. Jonathan's face went ashen. It's signed V. Victoria, Elena whispered. But that's impossible. She's been alive, Jonathan finished, when she wants her revenge. The Meridian Grand Hotel's 12th floor was eerily quiet as Elena and Jonathan approached room 1247. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs, each step echoing like a countdown to judgment. Jonathan's hand brushed hers in the hallway, and she realized they were both shaking. The door opened before they could knock. Victoria Chen stood in the doorway, but she was nothing like the polished queen bee from their memories. 10 years of addiction and recovery had carved hollows beneath her cheekbones, though her eyes burned with the same cruel intelligence that had once ruled their high school. She wore an elegant black dress that couldn't hide the track marks on her arms or the tremor in her hands. My 2 favorite destroyers, Victoria said, stepping aside to let them enter. Come in. We have so much to catch up on. The hotel suite was immaculate. But Elena noticed the prescription bottles lined up on the desk, the medical bracelet on Victoria's wrist. Recovery was a battle Victoria was still fighting. "You look surprised to see me," Victoria continued, pouring herself a glass of wine with unsteady hands. "Did you think your little schemes actually killed me? That I'd waste away in some gutter, destroyed by your righteousness?" "Victoria," Elena began, but Victoria cut her off with a sharp laugh. "Oh, save it. I know exactly what you both did. Planted evidence, the destroyed letters, the poisoning." Victoria's smile was razor thin. "You want to know the funny thing? I deserved every bit of it." Jonathan stepped forward. "What?" "I was a monster in high school. A broken, insecure monster who hurt people because I was dying inside." Victoria set down her wine glass, her hands shaking. "My father was molesting me from the time I was 12. My mother knew and did nothing. The cruelty, the pulls, the systematic destruction of anyone who threatened my carefully constructed perfect image. It was all I had to keep from falling apart completely." Elena felt the ground shift beneath her feet. "Victoria, we didn't know, of course you didn't. Nobody did. That was the point." Victoria walked to the window, staring out at the city lights. "But here's what's really twisted. What you two did. Saved my life." "How?" "Getting arrested, losing everything, hitting rock bottom. It forced me to face what my father had done to me, what I'd become because of it. I got clean, got therapy, testified against him in court. He's in prison now." Victoria turned back to them, tears streaming down her face. "I've spent the last 10 years trying to make amends for the pain I caused. Anonymous donations to anti-bullying organizations, suicide prevention hotlines, scholarships. For kids like Elena who got treated like garbage for being different." Elena's vision blurred. "Then why are we here? Why the threats?" Victoria reached into her purse and pulled out a gun, her hand trembling as she aimed it at her own temple. "Because tomorrow is the reunion, and I can't face seeing all those people. Again, I can't pretend to be normal when every day I wake up wanting to die from the shame of what I did to innocent kids." "Victoria, no." Jonathan lunged forward, but Victoria stepped back. "I needed to see you both first. To tell you that your revenge was justified, that you saved me even as you destroyed me." Victoria's finger hovered over the trigger. "I also needed to ask you something." "What?" Elena whispered. "I need one of you to forgive me. Really forgive me. Because I can't forgive myself." Elena looked at Jonathan, seeing her own anguish reflected in his eyes. Here was their tormentor, broken and suicidal, asking for the one thing they'd never imagined giving her. "I forgive you," Elena said quietly, stepping toward Victoria. "Leave the gun down, Victoria, please." Victoria's hand wavered, hope and despair warring in her expression. "Do you mean it?" "Yes." Elena reached out slowly, her voice steady. "We all survived high school. We all became different people. Let us help you survive the rest." For a heartbeat, it seemed like Victoria might lower the weapon. Then her phone rang, the sound sharp and startling in the tense silence. Victoria glanced at the screen and her face went white. "It's my father," she whispered. "He got out on parole early." The gun turned away from her temple, pointing now at the door. "Oh, he's here." Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway outside room 1247, followed by a slow, deliberate knock that made Victoria's entire body convulse with terror. Elena saw the scared 12-year-old girl beneath the damaged woman. Something fierce and protective awakened in her chest. "Victoria," Elena said quietly, moving to stand beside her. "Give me the gun." "No." "Hey." Victoria's voice was barely a whisper. "You don't understand what he's capable of. What he did to me." "Then we protect each other," Jonathan said, positioning himself between Victoria and the door. "All of us. Together." The knocking grew more insistent, followed by a man's voice, slurred with alcohol and rage. "Victoria, I know you're in there, you little bitch. Need to talk." Victoria's father had been a powerful man once, Elena remembered from news coverage of his trial. A judge who had used his position to silence his daughter's cries for help. Now, he was just another predator, hunting his victim in a hotel hallway. "He can't get in," Elena said, reaching for the phone. "I'm calling security." "No police," Victoria gasped. "He has connections. He'll find a way to hurt all of us." Lena met Jonathan's eyes across the room, and in that moment, 10 years of separation collapsed. They were teenagers again, but stronger. Now scarred but unbroken, they had survived their own hells. They could survive this one too. "Then we handle this ourselves," Elena said, taking the gun from Victoria's trembling hands. But not with violence, with truth. She opened her laptop and activated the recording software she used for client meetings, then nodded to Jonathan. He opened the door. Victoria's father stumbled into the room, his expensive suit wrinkled and reeking of whiskey. A years in prison had diminished him, but his eyes still held the cold calculation of a man accustomed to power. "There's my beautiful daughter," he sneered, his gaze sliding over Victoria with nauseating familiarity. "Miss me. Stay away from her," Jonathan said, but the older man ignored him. 10 years, Victoria. 10 years you cost me. My career, my reputation, my freedom." He stepped closer, and Victoria pressed herself against the window. "Time to make it right." "The only thing that's going to be made right," Elena said, holding up her phone to show the recording in progress, "is the truth. Keep talking. Tell us exactly what you did to your daughter when she was a child." The man's face darkened. "You little sluts think you're clever?" "No one will believe the internet will," Elena interrupted. "Your name, your face, your confession, broadcast to every social media platform within minutes. Your parole officer will have it before midnight." For the first time, uncertainty flickered in his eyes. "Victoria, tell them to stop this nonsense." Victoria lifted her head, and Elena saw something beautiful happen. The cowering victim vanished, replaced by a woman who had survived hell and chosen to keep living. "No, Daddy, I'm done being afraid of you. You destroyed my life. You destroyed mine first." Victoria's voice rang with a strength Elena had never heard from her. "When I was 12 years old, when I needed protection, not predation." The man lunged toward Victoria, but Jonathan caught his arm, spinning him around to face Elena's recording phone directly. "Say it," Elena commanded, her voice steady as steel. "Say what you did to your daughter, trapped, exposed, his power." Finally broken, Victoria's father crumbled. The confession spilled out of him in ugly, incriminating detail, every word preserved in digital clarity. When it was over, Elena sent the recording to 5 different news outlets and the state attorney general's office. The man who had terrorized Victoria for years was led away in handcuffs within the hour. His parole revoked, his final mask of respectability stripped away. Later, as dawn painted the Chicago skyline gold and rose, the 3 of them sat in Elena's penthouse, sharing coffee and something that felt like peace. Victoria had checked herself into a trauma treatment center that morning. Jonathan had decided to sell his company and start a foundation for abuse survivors. "What about you?" Victoria asked Elena as she prepared to leave. "What comes next?" Elena looked out at the city she had conquered, at the buildings that bore her signature vision, at the empire she had built from ashes and determination. Then she looked at Jonathan, whose eyes held the same quiet understanding that had drawn her to him 10 years too late. "I think," Elena said slowly, "I'm finally ready to stop building walls and start building bridges." Victoria smiled, and for the first time, it reached her eyes. The janitor was right, you know. Beautiful things do take time to grow. As Victoria's taxi pulled away, Elena felt Jonathan's hand slip into hers. They had both survived their separate hells, had both chosen revenge over healing once upon a time. But now, standing together in the morning light, they were no longer the broken teenagers they had been. They were something new, something better, something beautiful. Asterisk, what did you think of Elena's transformation and the shocking twist? Your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more intense psychological dramas and revenge stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the end.